Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. Excuse me, I haven't had a chance to get any food in my belly yet, so I'm doing that a little bit right now, but put that away. Handle this right here. Got my boy Sean Zittel with me right now. We just got tired of waiting on Antt with two T's, so he'll join us momentarily, right?
When you're the star of the show, Sean, you know you can be late. You knew that as champion. You don't show up on time. When you're that guy, you know, you show up when you want to.
You saying Antt is the champ of the PorterWay Podcast?
Absolutely. The people's champ. The people's champion.
He really is. How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm in, for the audience, if they wonder, I'm in Arizona, literally in Arizona. My family is out looking at the animals, and I'm rocking with the PorterWay here in the car. So
we're gonna make this quick. You got the baby in the back?
Nope. She's attached to mom. Yep. Just like that. You know how that goes.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well, listen, man, let's jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and make this soft announcement. Hopefully, I'm sure once it's been said, it probably won't be as soft, but I reached out to Amanda Serrano. We'll get to her fight in a bit. I'm really, really hoping she joins the PorterWay Podcast today. I really just want to celebrate the fight in its entirety. Shout out to Marcus Taylor. We were talking about the fight yesterday, and he said something that I felt was just absolutely on point. And I was like, man, I got to get her on. Of course, would love to get Katie Taylor on, maybe at another time. And I'm sure I'll save some things. Hopefully she gets on by the time we get to the fight. If not, we'll just go ahead and do what we got to do. There were fights on DAZN on Saturday.
There were.
And we understood what Friday was 100%. I truly do think, and I got to go back to the fight that I said I wasn't going to go to right now. I feel like Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor handled boxing this weekend.
Yeah, that's fair. They on a show where, and I know we'll get to our opinions on Tyson and Paul, on a show that appealed to the lowest common denominator, they delivered high art as the co-main event. So yeah, maybe the feature film was I don't know. I like Jay and Silent Bob. I can't think of a bad lowbrow movie. I love the movie. So for lack of pretend we don't like Jay and Silent Bob. We got, Jay and Silent Bob in the main event and The Godfather in the co-main event.
Wasn't there another movie called Dogma that had them in it? Was it
Yeah. I didn't see that one though.
Dogma or Stigma, something like that. Well, yeah. The reason why I brought that up is because the fights on DAZN on Saturday, I'm sorry, but I was like not very interested, for the sake of words. We got Zepeda and Tevin Farmer. I've supported Tevin Farmer from a distance for a very long time. I did see that, he's contemplating the next move in life, his career, boxing, and the list goes on after this loss here. Certainly a fighter that did not get his just due. Fighting, the opportunities didn't come to him. Certainly not the way that they came to me. Everybody praises the way that I handled being a fighter in for the sake of words, in my generation, and I know that my generation is kind of still in effect at this moment. But I tell everybody, when you say Sean fought everybody, the thing that you have to understand is the timing, number one, of me fighting everyone, but then also the opportunities were there for me. It's not like that for everybody, so I'm blessed. But all that being said, I feel like Tevin, especially recently, has made the best of the opportunities that he was given, and even in his fight in the losing effort to Zepeda.
Yeah, and there's been an adjustment to his style. I don't think he's still fast. I don't think he was as fast as he was when he had his title run and a little bit before that title run at 130, but he's made adjustments to his style. I definitely think he's punching harder at lightweight than he was at 130. Part of that is that style adjustment. He's not moving around the ring as often. He still does. He still has good movement, still turns guys in the center of the ring, but he's fighting more from the pocket and delivering harder punches from the pocket than he did before. So he's gotten better in the pocket. Always could fight in the pocket, but he'd get his work off and then turn you. And now he's more comfortable than ever there. He hurt Zepeda. Zepeda wound up out hustling him. You know, didn't really get the cleaner. He got the better work done to the body. Farmer kind of got the better work done up top, but it came a little less consistently than.
Well, look at that. Zittel is in the woods, as we saw, and just straight dropped it. I'm trying to look at some notes and stuff like that, and I look up and I'm on the screen. What up, Antt?
Nothing, man. What y'all got going on? So y'all talking about Tevin Farmer?
Why you wearing a goddamn hat? That's the real.
I did that on purpose, literally.
That's dirty.
I said, oh, this is why he made me adjust my times.
Because the game was like, I'm done. But the Browns played the Saints today. Saints did what they had to do, especially.
I'm
back.
But, yeah, you back, but now you got to wait.
Okay.
Especially
and also he got to turn his phone.
Yeah, and turn your phone too. Damn it.
Bingo. That's what I'm talking about.
No, Tyson Hill, he delivered. Little early struggle a little bit in the beginning of the game for Taysom Hill and the Saints, but they pulled it together. Derek Carr did his thing as well. Solid game for them. Browns, too many hiccups in this one. We're not gonna talk that much about the Browns or anything like that.
Okay.
He was wearing a hat, and so I was like, let me address the elephant in the room of me not talking about the Browns since they only win or one of their only wins this season. But Antt, we was talking about William Zepeda, Tevin Farmer. What you think?
I didn't watch all the fight, but I seen some highlights. From the highlights, it looked like Tevin Farmer won the fight, but it seemed like if you watch the whole fight, Zepeda did what he had to do.
Yeah.
I guess it's a statement for Farmer, even a loss.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I felt like that too. I actually was gonna come to you, Antt, and ask you. I'll come back to that. Zittel, go ahead, go finish what you had.
Yeah, so Farmer's made some good adjustments at lightweight, punching better in the pocket than ever. But like Antt touched on right away, his stock has gone up 2 times in a row now. He gave Murataya a really difficult fight. This was a lot more entertaining fight to watch, and he dropped Zepeda, who has been dropped in the past before too, by the way. So that's a problem for William Zepeda. He's this all-out pressure fighter, all offense, fights downhill, and to get the most out of that kind of style, you gotta be able to take it as well as you dish it out. You have to have really good punch resistance because part of your style is asking your body to absorb punishment to deliver it. So that's an issue for Zepeda moving forward. And I think this fight shows us that Shakur Stevenson is definitely a clear favorite over Zepeda. But will Stevenson be as comfortable delivering shots in the pocket as Farmer was, as that crafty veteran Farmer was? So I think even though he's coming off back-to-back losses, people believe in Tevin Farmer at lightweight in a way they didn't believe in him when he started this comeback. So now he deserves to be in the mix. Maybe have to be a bit of a gatekeeper, but hey, you're only a gatekeeper if those kids get by. You knock one of those kids off and you're back to getting your shot at what you want again. So really good fight by Tevin Farmer. Yes, Shakur is the favorite. That seems clear. But Shakur, he's going to have to be as comfortable and settled down with the smoke coming his way as Farmer was.
Yeah, I feel like Zepeda, I mean, you just hit it. You said it all. The one thing I do feel about Shakur Stevenson in this fight, sharper than Tevin.
Yes.
I think more decisive than Tevin. Also more consistent than Tevin from a standpoint of being that sharpness. That sharpness goes from round 1 to round 12. You've seen that with Shakur. The thing that we haven't seen from Shakur is somebody like a William Zepeda putting that kind of pressure on him, which would, if anything, is going to pull that gas tank down a little quicker, a little more than any other fighter has. And so we would actually see what he does have in the later rounds, 9, 10, 11, 12, things of that nature. Overall, yeah, William Zepeda is a workhorse, and that's how he got it done on fight night. Tevin landed a lot of great shots. The thing that I want to say, and then I'm going to come back to you, Antt, we talk a lot about fighters having losses and still being able to continue. We're not going to change boxing. I mean, I would love for the PorterWay Podcast to be able to change boxing with some of the statements that we make on this show. I'll go ahead and speak it into existence instead of speaking against it. But what I will say about that is if we're paying these guys and they understand, or there's an understanding that this is the gatekeeper role, this is that B-side role, or whatever the case may be, don't put a fighter at such a deficit from a standpoint of judges, promotion, people coming to the arena, everybody looking at that fighter like he's gonna lose, and then on top of that, he loses in his bank account as well. Pay these guys what they deserve, especially a Tevin Farmer. We understand that he lost his fight. The consistency is he moves down the ladder, he still could get a big fight with someone out there and pay him for that fight. And I really wanted to come to you and say, yo, you got a next fight for Tevin Farmer.
Tevin Farmer. Yeah, I got something. He's right there right now. So if you want to, I like a Frank Martin comeback. I like a Schofield. See where you really at, Schofield. That's a tough fight for you right there. That's gonna really bring something out of you. I would Tevin has the experience, I think, over Schofield.
Yes.
Yeah. But I wonder if the youth could come up. But I like those two fights for him. Other ones, yeah, it gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Davis, that kid's trajectory right now is out of this world.
Yeah.
But, I like those fights for him. And like you said, he gets one of those, he's really right back in there. You bring your Frank Martin or the Schofield, you're right back in there.
Yeah.
Maybe Andy Cruz.
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
But that style matchup, no one's salivating over that style matchup.
Yeah. Then we had we had twins in the ring. I felt like, you put a mirror in front of these guys and they're boxing themselves. You really saw it in the first round more than anything. Arnold Barboza Jr., Jose Ramirez come into the ring. I thought that Jose was going to pull this one out. He just didn't have the work rate. I really want to say he's gun shy. However, it was like he just wasn't pulling the trigger, and he was getting out hustled. I really feel like he lost the fight because he got out hustled. I don't feel like Arnold Barboza showed himself to be a level above him. I really didn't feel like there was much separation outside of Arnold being a little quicker on the draw, punching first. But I felt like there was a mirroring image of one another. A fight that I actually, in retrospect, I was like, yeah, when we talk about styles making fights, this is a fight that we should have never made, because it was dry. It was the same thing round after round. I feel like I don't want to hate on guys. I want to, praise guys and keep them moving forward. But I gotta be honest, man. I talked to Arnold Barboza, and I'll let you guys go. When he was going through being skipped in the rankings and things like that, he was mad, upset, and I was pulling for him. I said, yeah, we'll bring you on the podcast. We'll talk about it on the podcast. I said, make sure, you're ready to say the right things, and you're not going to just fire off on promotion, fire off on business, and then in turn, you end up in the worst place now, not being able to get a fight or something along those lines because you've disrespected somebody, or they, misunderstood something that you said. We never had him on the show. And from that point on, I became, he's under a magnifying glass for me. Like, give me something to support. In all respect, he hasn't done anything that's jumped off of the screen to me and made me say, let me get behind this kid and push him forward. I got behind Robert Merriweather 2 weeks ago now, because he's a young, up-and-coming, vibrant, energetic, very good boxer. And I know he's not going to get a whole lot of love. There's no telling where we're going to see him again. I'll get behind you. You just got to give me a reason to. And Arnold ain't give me nothing. He hasn't given me anything in about 4 fights now. So, and then Jose, I really don't know what to say about Jose. Man,
all right.
I had to go away for a little while.
Yeah, all right. I don't know.
I thought that was very fair.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be, man.
It's crazy because Barboza's, Arnold is undefeated. But it's almost like you're undefeated, but you're still like in a crossroad. We need more from you, man. Like, I don't know if I want to see you in a championship fight. I hate to say it. That's crazy for me to say. But it's like, I don't know if I really want to see. And I think Ramirez, he went from Top Rank, right? Who dropped him? Somebody dropped him.
Both of them.
Okay.
Both of them.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. So was that like a crossroad fight, but they gained nothing out of it?
I mean, Barboza stays up there in the rankings. I can't remember which. He was number one for Tiafimo for a while, and then Kenny's number. I think he's got to be number one or close to it with IBF because he was for so long. And Lopez, well, that was back at I got it all mixed up now. But he was ranked number one for the longest time. Didn't get his title shot, and that's where that frustration came from what Sean's talking about. But like Sean said, everything is so ordinary. Is the word I was using when I was watching the fight on the way to Arizona. It's just everything's ordinary and solid, and there's nothing wrong with being solid across the board. Boxing needs an ecosystem of guys that are superstars, stars, champions, and then you need some solid guys too. And I think he's a solid guy. But I said when I came back from Fresno back in May when we had the show, and Ramirez had a way tougher fight than expected with Rancis Barthelemy. I was saying then I think his best days are behind him, Jose Ramirez, and I think that's part of what Sean's getting at. There was nothing he did in this fight that convinced you he's winning this fight because he's just so good. Nothing that convinced you that he's not a step ahead because Ramirez has lost said step or two, and that was really the case. I mean, I remember watching Ramirez on Top Rank Undercards 2013. He had really fast hands, and then the best performance of his career is when he unified against Maurice Hooker. But he is an old 32, and that's despite not having a whole lot of fights. You know, he has about 30 or so fights, but he's been in a lot of wars. He's been a come forward guy his whole career. Hand speed was kind of always underrated. He could really put them together, and he had flashes of that against Barboza, but Barboza just did enough to win against a guy whose best days are behind him. He didn't do anything to convince you he's this serious threat at 140 to the best of the best. I mean, could he give Rayo Valenzuela a competitive fight? Yeah, I think he could be competitive with these guys, but he didn't do anything to Antt's point that makes you say, I gotta see Barboza get his title shot. That's something I gotta see. And even compared to one of his contemporaries, Kenny Sims, who's kind of in his boat, getting overlooked for his title shot. But Kenny Sims has been fighting with a sense of urgency and even getting guys out of there in a lot of his recent fights. And Barboza, not as much in this fight, but he won. He's got the best win on his resume now, and he holds on to his position of keep winning, and eventually you are going to get a big-time type of fight. So,
hey, listen, let's do this real quick. First of all, Zittel, if you can, try to keep your phone still while you're talking. The other side of everything is, as I said, and I hope we will get her, sounds like we got Amanda Serrano coming to the PorterWay Podcast. Not the first time, and hopefully not the last. There she is.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. And you?
Blessed.
Let's do it sideways?
Yeah, go sideways with it. Listen, I'm gonna start this, and I'm gonna let these guys go. If you were in front of me right now, I get down on my knees, and I would like literally just like honestly like just praise the essence of Amanda Serrano. My dog, you are absolutely amazing. Simple.
Thank you.
Yeah, y'all go. That's the only reason why I brought her on.
I know when I get, you know, certain people watch boxing because of us and stuff like that, but when I get people that really don't watch it that much besides the hardcores, and they say, "Man, it was a good night," but them girls, the women. Hey, Amanda, at the end of the day, you did your job. Obviously, you was on the short end of the BS. You did your job. You're in your career. You're gonna look back and you elevated boxing. The women in this time, right now, you may not see it, you may do. Well, you're gonna look back and you guys elevated women's boxing. Now,
thank you. That's what I try to do.
Yeah. No,
Amanda, let me ask you this, Amanda. Game plan coming to the ring, was it a little different than it was in the previous fight, or what kind of talk to us about the X's and O's of this one?
Yeah, it was to come as the fifth round, to finish off like it was the sixth round coming out there, and like what we did the fifth and 10th round was to come out and give a show. You know, I knew we was under this great platform on Netflix in front of 80,000, so I wanted to show the fans that women, we fight no matter what. And look, It turned out to be a great night. I fought with a big cut in my eye, and we show grit, we show heart, we show skills, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give the fans their money's worth.
Yeah, because Amanda, congrats on a great fight, and happy to after all the hard work you put in those early and mid years, happy to see you getting the money and the success and the platform that you worked so hard to get to. So congrats on that. I thought you won the fight. I mean, you hurt her in round one. What you said, I felt like you started faster in this fight and set the tone in round one. She adjusted well, but a big difference between fight number 2 and fight number 1, you took her legs away. Down the stretch of that first fight, she found that way to get back on her movement, and she adjusted well. But in this fight, you dragged her to hell. You dragged her into that war. And going toe-to-toe is an Amanda Serrano type of fight. And
Yes.
and so I thought you got the better of that. Did you feel like you performed better in fight 2? And when the final bell rang, did you say to yourself, like, I got that. I definitely won. Not as opposed to could go either way. That was close. I hope I won. Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course. And then I have a great team that they tell me the truth in the corner. So that's what you need. But we went out there, and I just decided it's a great platform for us to show. And I do what I do best, and that's fight. And yeah, I love that, going in there, going to war. And I believe I heard her with the harder, the more impactful punches. And I believe I got it. But, you just never know with these judges anymore.
Amanda, that punch that you caught her with in the first round, did you hold on to that throughout the rest of the fight, specifically trying to land that exact same shot, or was it just fighting?
No, just fighting. But every now and then, I knew I had to throw that left hand. That's my power hand. I felt this camp was working on that a lot. My left hand, and I'm glad that she was able to feel it. Not so early on, because then she started holding early on too. But listen, I gave it my all out there, and that's all I can do. That's what I'm going to continue to do. Give it my all in every fight that I have.
We always want the 3-minute rounds, 12-minute rounds for women boxing. I think if we would have had 3 minutes, it would have been over in the first. Just be honest with you guys, man.
And the same thing with the first fight. I mean, if we had that extra minute, it would have been over in the 5th.
Yeah.
But listen, she agreed. We shook hands for the trilogy, for the rematch. She would do it 12-3. So I mean, we'll see. If the team wants it, then we get it.
Breaking news! I'm hyped now. What we getting this next week?
Okay, let me get some time off. I need the rest of the year. It's been a long year for me.
Boxing fans,
tell me about it, right?
Yeah, I know.
When did that conversation happen? Did that happen in the ring or in the back room, like in the locker room?
No, that happened. We did a face-off a couple of days before the fight. It's on it's on YouTube, and we shook hands. She said she wanted to do 12-3. I don't know why this fight wasn't 12-3. I know why, because her team kept insisting it had to be 10-2. She knew my beliefs in the 12-3. She never asked why it wasn't the 12-3. But I mean, her manager was negotiating with my manager and just kept insisting it had to be 10-2. We gave her everything. We went up another division, 140. She knows, her team knows I'm not a 140 pounder. I cannot make that weight. And it is what it is. We dropped it down to 138. Because we had to have something, but I still didn't make that, and I still didn't feel comfortable. I didn't walk in that ring at 137. I walked in probably lighter, and she walked in 150. I was still the smaller girl going up 3 divisions, and I still was able to hurt her. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's see if they're really interested in the 12-3, then that we're going to start negotiation with that.
I think fighters, when we box, it's like this in sports in general. You kind of need that dance partner to be, when you have that perfect dance partner, it's like the night is an unbelievable night. Do you feel like Katie Taylor is the dance partner of your career, or is there anyone else that you feel like, that fight was, what I've done with Katie Taylor is the best that could be done with anybody I fought with?
Listen, of course, we made history together twice. Obviously, we broke records, and I'm proud. Katie Taylor, she's an amazing fighter, amazing champion as well. She's a gold medalist, has hundreds of amateur fights. When she came into the pros, many people didn't know. I've been a professional way before her, and people didn't know about women's professional boxing. But when she came in, everybody knew who Katie Taylor was because of the promotion that she was given. And people always ask, oh, Katie, Katie, Katie. But now that we're able to share this spotlight together, share the ring together twice, I think she's an amazing dance partner, and we just make great music together, blood and all.
I'll tell you something else, and I just want to hear your reaction to this. I was talking to a fighter, Marcus Taylor. Shout out to Marcus. He said, because I told him we were talking about women's boxing, men's boxing, so on and so forth. He said, I think that could possibly be the fight of the year for boxing, not just women's boxing, but that's possibly the fight of the year for boxing.
Yeah, but the first one we won it too. We beat out the men as well. So I mean that's a great thing for women's boxing because that shows that we're in it for real. We're not just women. We're boxers. We're fighters, and that's one thing I was taught from the very beginning from my trainer. He obviously is a sport of boxing, but he taught me how to be a fighter. I'm a fighter at heart, and I just go out there and I fight with everything.
Couple more, y'all. We gotta let her go.
Oh no, I'm gonna let you go. I'm just in it with people like, how is she fighting with the cut? I said, adrenaline, and she's a boxer. She's a tough son of a bee. But when Amanda get in that shower, she gonna
I'm still like, ouch, because the head hurts more than punches. I was like, the second one, I was like, oh my God, I wanted to curse so loud. But listen, we deal with that. It's not the first time. I deal with it in the gym. That's one thing my trainer allows me to get beat up in the gym by the men. So when I'm in a fight with a girl, to me it's nothing. I said, it's another day at the gym.
Amanda, do you believe when it's really time to cross that when you're done getting a much deserved rest, do you really think Taylor will agree to the third fight, or will she or her team say, well, technically we're up 2-0, so we're not going to do that. We're going to look for something else.
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how she's feeling, how her team is feeling, if they're confident enough for it. But listen, I'm going to be here. I'm still the champion, the featherweight champion of the world. If not, she doesn't want the fight, I still have to defend my titles at featherweight. So, but I'm here. I'm here to make another great fight with her if she wants it.
Amanda,
go
ahead, Zittel. I'm sorry.
Can you get up for another the way you get up for Taylor for this rematch? Could you get up like that for anybody else? Does any other fight at this stage in your career summon that kind of hunger and motivation? Baumgardner, does Baumgardner do it? Does defending the title against Sky Nicholson, who's been talking a lot, does that do it? Or do you feel that you moved on to bigger things? How do you feel about that?
This fight this rematch definitely got me up in the mornings. The days that I didn't want to get up, I didn't want to train, I didn't want to go run. I knew who I was up against. I knew who I was fighting. I knew where I was fighting, what the impact I would have for female boxing. So those are the days that I got up and I did more because I knew the position I was in to represent women in boxing. And Katie, she brings that out of me, and I would love to for that fight again. Listen, I'm the fighter. Obviously, Shawn knows that. We're fighters. We do what the team it tells us to do. And to me, I don't care. I get in there with anyone, anywhere, and that's what I will do.
Last two things for me, then we'll let you go. And I'm trying to figure out which one I want to go with first. I'll go with this first, and we'll end with a little bit of fun. After I fought Errol Spence Jr., I got a call from Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman invited me onto his show the day after my fight, and he explained to me, we always have the winners on when they fight and win. He said, your hand didn't get raised, but I just felt like you were the winner. I felt like I was watching you win that fight, even though your hand didn't get raised. Everything that was done that night was primarily because of you. And I feel the same about you, Amanda. I feel like you dictated the pace. I feel like you forced her to fight your fight. And I'll say this to you, something that I say on this podcast all the time. The judges around the ring, which I'm sure you know, they don't come from boxing. So they don't understand when the dictator is having the upper hand, and when the complexion of the fight changes is because of one side forcing the other side to change, not because that side wants to change. So I just wanted to kind of extend to you what was extended to me from S. Kellerman quite a few years ago, and tell you that even though your hand to get raised, I know the boxing world as a whole, we all feel like you won that fight. I don't mean to disrespect Katie at all, but I just feel like you did marvelous, and I felt like you did everything that needed to be done.
Thank you, truly, Sean. That means a lot to me. Coming from a champ like you, that definitely it gives me a lot more confidence and brings that means a lot to me. Thank you so much for those words, and I will take them.
So now I have to address the elephant in the room. I've been retiring you for like I've been retiring you for like 3 years. I'm like, Amanda ain't
I know.
more. She ain't fighting. How many more what we gonna do? Well, how long till you come sit next to me and I can fire one of these guys and we can just do this thing on the couch together?
Listen, we're getting to that. We're getting to the finish line very soon. I would say about a year left. A year left now. No, I say that I'm starting the next chapter in my career. I'm signing fighters thanks to MVP, the platform that we have. We just launched MVP Puerto Rico. I have a couple of my fighters coming out of Puerto Rico. Another girl, Crystal Rosado. I have John Paul Rivera. I have Alexis Chaparro. So we're working on that. So definitely working on the next.
Beautiful.
I'm not gonna be fighting forever. I need to retire one day.
And one more thing.
Two more fights.
Just give us a word about Jake Paul. I know you've been working with him now for quite a few years. Kind of, just tell us a little bit about working with Jake and, his position in boxing right now.
No, Jake Paul is truly an inspiration to me. He's an amazing guy. Some people might not think that because of who he portrays online. Totally different than that, because of him, I am the highest paid female boxer in the game. He's changed my life. He changed my career completely from day one.
She's going through the tunnel.
The first day for
I'm froze.
I'm not frozen. I'm good.
You good. Go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, he's him, his family, the whole team. Nikita Badarian, who is also my manager, who co-founded MVP. They're truly amazing people. And Jake is not really what he is on Instagram or Twitter. He's an amazing guy, and he's hungry. He's really, when he goes to the gym, there's not a big entourage there. He's putting in the work. I know that he's learning, and he's very disciplined. And I think he will go far if he continues to do what he does, and that's fight. Listen, you can't question that guy's heart. He went in there with the baddest man on the planet, Tyson, and he continues to go out there and fight with everything he has. And I'm proud to be part of his team and to be proud to be a friend.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. This is the very, very last one. Would you say that out of your whole career, this might be like the most comfortable and happy you've been in boxing?
Yes, 100%. Besides the work, I have to work double now because obviously not. But we're in a new era. We're in like a social media era where you have to be putting stuff out. And me, I got my first cell phone, but it's actually a flip phone. A couple of days ago, thanks to Total Wireless. I just signed with them, so they gave me my first phone. But we're in that era where we have to perform for the audience, and social media is very important. So, but yeah, no, I've been very comfortable. I don't have to they pay me too much, I think.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. They don't pay you enough.
No. But I'm really comfortable. And this is like a teamwork because all the negotiation is done in front of me on top of the table. There's no third party. So I feel very comfortable and I'm happy and I'm blessed.
Very good. Amanda, congratulations, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you. Yeah, yes, you will. And I'll be fighting again, blood and all.
Thank you.
This girl still fighting. Hey, I retired her, definitely retired her like 4 times.
Yeah.
Hang up so we can talk about you.
You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And
Congrats, Amanda.
Looking forward to seeing you guys in person.
Thank
Stay
you.
blessed.
Congrats,
have
Amanda.
You too. Have
Thank
a good
you.
one. Bye.
New York, stand up.
Oh man,
So,
you got to get to New York at the end.
Yeah, of course.
Man, what do we here real quick on Zurdo and
Chris Billam-Smith.
yes.
He keep asking in the tough. I want to do a black person one day. Don't do it. Not
Ant's
today.
always
Not
trying
today.
to get me caught up. My brother Antt always trying to get me caught up. I love you, Antt. Why?
Right here from saying something crazy.
Hey, because he over there like he over there got like 5 of them. He got the New York, he got Brooklyn, he got the dude on the street. He got about 5 of them.
He got the West Coast.
Yep.
Shout out to Zittel, man.
Go ahead,
Zittel.
Real quick on Zurdo and Smith.
Chris Billam-Smith. No, I think he strong guy. This was a Zurdo fight in a full-fledged cruiserweight, not like the Joe Smith fight where it's 2 big light heavyweights fighting at cruiserweight. No, this Chris Billam-Smith, it took him a couple rounds to adjust to that strength of Chris Billam-Smith, who got off to a good start, but class tells over time. You were just talking about Max Kellerman. That was one of his favorite phrases. Class tells over time. And Zurdo's having success at cruiserweight. He's this guy who can fight like a super middleweight now competing at cruiserweight. And so a lot of the cruiserweights, they're not going to see the kind of skill and punch selection and just the overall skill that Zurdo has. Zurdo's always been a really good boxer. But, you know, he ate himself quickly out of the light heavyweight division. So now he's settled in at cruiserweight. Not as swift with his feet as he was in his younger days, but kind of like we were talking about with Tevin Farmer, making up for it by adjusting the style a little bit. He's good in the pocket. So he fought a very good fight. He has 2 titles now, WBO, WBA, even though it's weird. BoxRec doesn't list the WBA title as being his in this fight, but WBA has him as their champion. So this has been a nice second half of the career revival for Zurdo at cruiserweight. I still got to favor Jai Opetaia because he's young and fresh, faster than Zurdo, got better feet than Zurdo these days, and he's not coming up from 68. He's began in his whole career as a full-fledged cruiserweight. So I think that's a good fight. The WBC champion, I got to do my homework more on him. Noel McCallan, 27-2 WBC champ. But the fight in the division now is definitely Zurdo and Opetaia. And shout out to Zurdo for a late career revival, or not late career, but second half career revival. I just don't think he's going to become the guy at cruiserweight, but he was always a big ass super middleweight, and now he's settled in at cruiserweight doing his thing.
Right. Ayo, well said. He was a big ass super middleweight. Yeah, super middleweight. I saw him last night in the fight, and like his legs are massive, and he's got the height. Now I feel like I'm like, yo, did he grow since he got to cruiser? You know what I mean? So I love that Opetaia fight. I agree with you on everything that you said. I think everything. No, there's no need for me to even repeat it. Let's move on real quick and get through Netflix. Shout out to Netflix. Shout out to Jake Paul. They made it happen.
That was an event.
Go ahead, Antt.
No, it was just an event. Hey, I want to shout out Shushu. He didn't get the main card, but he was on YouTube. He handled his business. I wish he would have got the guy out of there. But at the same time, he looked amazing. He won every round. Worked on. It seemed like he actually was trying to set up stuff more instead of looking for the big knockout, which I think that was one thing we gave him hell on the last fight. Definitely thought the guy was on his level, so he should have got him out of there. But at the end of the day, he won every round. I think I'm being picky.
holding him to a high standard because you have high expectations of his talent. It's okay. So I heard somewhere the expectations people have for you reveals what they really think about you. So by holding him to a high standard, it means you hold because you think highly of him, right?
Yeah.
And I'm with you. He put together some beautiful combinations in that 8th round. He closed the show strong. He did drop the guy, so it was a good performance. It was good.
Yep. Outside of that, we already talked to Amanda Serrano. We kind of went through the fight a bit, but let's do it a little bit more because I mean, how could we not? Best fight.
You want to touch Mario Barrios first?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that thing ended up being way more exciting than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. You always forget about Mario, and every time he shows up, he lets Sean know I'm back and ready to box again. You lucky you retired.
I'm gonna bring him in the studio next week.
What belt does he? No, he don't got the belt you had. What belt he has?
WBC.
He does.
Okay.
He's got WBC.
Okay. Well, when I think of Shawn Porter, I think IBF. My bad. Very disrespectful. Very disrespectful.
It is.
But yeah, now shout out to Mario Barrios. Guys, did he do enough to want a boots fight for any one of you guys?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, they are arguably the two best welter. I mean, Boots, I think, even despite people going lower on his stock, I think most people still think he's the toughest welterweight in the division.
He's a standard.
And then yeah. And then it's very close between Stanionis, Norman, and Barrios. I think I actually felt like Barrios did enough. He regrouped a little bit in those late rounds, and I thought he did enough to squeak out a decision. But the draw was a fine verdict. You know, he took over the first half of the fight. Ramos, I keep wanting to call him Abel Mendoza. He had a better second half of the fight. Sean, why do you think Barrios faded halfway through the fight?
I'm really not sure. I think wow, great question. I'm not sure. Did he fade or did he just, get caught up? I know this, fighters, we can get complacent when things are going our way. And I think he had a moment where he got lapse. He had a lapse in his movement and got caught. And I think that punch that he got caught with, that's what kind of like changed the fight as a whole, because there was something that he just never recovered from fully. Things that people don't know. Even when you punching strong and fast and it looks like you recover, the thing that people don't understand is when that brain up there rattles a little bit, that thing, it's gonna take that thing. You gotta sit still in order for that thing to recalibrate itself to sitting back where it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? So I really do think that when he got caught in that round, he had a moment where he got complacent, didn't take a big enough step back, got caught. And I think that ultimately ended up being why it looked like he faded. It wasn't so much that he faded, just didn't recover fully enough.
Got it.
From that punch.
Yeah, got it. Makes sense. Yeah. He and then by
the way.
Say again.
It sound good. He said he made it up. It sound good.
No, it makes sense. It's not that the guy faded. He's still partially hurt and affected by getting hit with a big shot. Like we saw Devin Haney in the Ryan Garcia fight. His legs at a certain point just couldn't get back underneath him after the first or second knockdown. So that it makes sense. It's not a fatigue thing. It's a equilibrium. Everything you got shook up, and you're still recovering from it the rest of the fight. The rest of the week, the rest of the month.
Yeah. And now we got Zittel beat up my granddaddy. Main event. Go ahead, Zittel. Go ahead, man. Whoever.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we even want him to go?
Hey, because he about to cook somebody. Yes, go.
I feel like my take aged well. I said last week on the show, I took the big picture thing. Forget boxing for a minute. This is a indictment on pop culture in the United States and really at the world at large. And an indictment, it's what we saw in the main event was a elimination of merit. Meaning, like, it doesn't matter. This sent an awful message, in my opinion. It's not about anymore, because Mike Tyson at 58 is stripped away of the merits of being a the great heavyweight he once was. Jake Paul at 10-1, like Amanda said, works hard. He's got a good right hand, could fight a little bit, but he's not selling in 65 million homes because of his merit as a fighter either. And a lot of people called this event, a shit show, right? Well, go ahead, huh?
No, go.
Oh, okay.
It was Hafey.
Well, right. Well, a lot of people said, what was that bullshit in the main event? Well, let me get scientific about what is shit. Shit is after all the nutrients have passed through the system and acid has absorbed all the good things out of it, all you're left with is shit. And so once you strip away all the real credibility of Mike Tyson fighting at 58 years old, and once you again eliminate that merit, Jake Paul hasn't done anything in the boxing world to merit this kind of audience. All that's left is what I talked about a week ago: false idol worship, the worship of celebrity. And I would advise the fans watching my take on this, watch the episode South Park did. You know, South Park, as funny as it is a brilliant show too. They had an episode about Logan Paul and how they instead of calling it Prime, they called it Cred, the drink he sells. And all the little youngins want to be like this influencer. They all want the cred. And really what the cred is the clout. And that's all that's left in this fight was Mike Tyson's clout against Jake Paul's clout. And, you know, we ate it, the world, the country ate it up hook, line, and sinker. This is my job, whether it's Rene Tellez Guidon fighting Kid Austin or Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, freedom of the press. So don't come at me and go, well, you're a part of the same hypocrisy, Sean. You covered it. You did all it. No, it's called freedom of the press. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to do my job and put it all in perspective. That was some bullshit. And it's an indictment on our taste, because whether you were black, white, Republican, Democrat, brown, everybody bought in on it. And that's the real, so what? That's the real point of what Tyson versus Jake Paul is. And we had Amanda on just now. I'm not about to ask Amanda about all that because it's her moment, and she's a fighter. She got an offer from a man who's coming in the game as a promoter, and she'd be a fool to not jump on it. And after all the risks she's taken in her life, not get paid. But honestly, even sometimes I even look at him putting Serrano on with Taylor as like Nino Brown giving away turkeys. Like, it's politicians will have they'll bomb another country in the same week, take a photo op with kids at a school. Like, it's good PR. I still credit to him. He put those ladies on a stage and they did amazing, but it's like, they can only criticize me so much. What are you going to say when I put these women on as the co-main event and give them career high paydays and they deliver? You can't say I'm bad for boxing. But if all this influencer boxing led by Jake and Logan Paul, if it's, quote, drawing eyes to the sport, it's a good thing. It's drawing people to the sport that normally wouldn't watch it. Then why does their needle continue to ascend and the needle in real American boxing continue to decline to where almost everybody's got to go to Saudi Arabia to be paid? So I haven't seen this net positive impact on boxing in America. Yeah. It's going the other direction. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
Yeah. He spoke the truth. Go ahead.
And I'll jump in and say this, because the number one thing that you touched on is, why is the trajectory of boxing as a whole, the sport as a whole, going up the way that it is for Jake Paul, Logan Paul, the so on and so forth of the social media boxing that these guys have been doing. And the bottom line is this, and I've said this time and time again: it's not boxing, it's Jake Paul. People aren't tuning into boxing. People are tuning into Jake Paul. They didn't tune into boxing. They tuned into Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. They didn't even tune into Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. You know, so you have to understand what it is. If I had it my way, I would make sure that Jake Paul was at all of the big fights. I would make sure that Jake Paul was ringside and he was helping promote the fights. That's what he does. He's a brilliant mind at that, and he has the audience that can do that. If he went to, just hypothetical, if he went to David Benavidez camp and did some posting at the David Benavidez camp, said, watch this fight against David Morrell. This is Juggernaut against Juggernaut. And he does the same thing when he goes to Morrell. That's how the trajectory of boxing goes up. It takes him getting behind boxing. Respect to him, he hasn't gotten behind boxing. He's gotten behind himself and is using using boxing as the vehicle. Nothing wrong with that from my viewpoint, except people in this sport want to see this sport advance. This is not how it gets done unless they choose to advance the sport and instead of advancing just themselves. We ain't gonna fix that. It's neither here nor there. As a whole,
Hey Sean, if I could just real quick, giving back to the sport is making other fighters stars, like what De La Hoya did. De La Hoya created Mosley. He helped take Trinidad to another level. Floyd Mayweather to another level. Manny Pacquiao. Squeezing whatever juice or credibility the sports have to enrich yourself is good for yourself. It's not good for the game. And Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, two of the greatest fighters that ever lived, it's no coincidence that they fought the Paul brothers, because they at times were in on that business, squeezing the juice out of the game, not really making anybody else a star, but enriching themselves with it. And that's what Jake Paul's doing. What juice is left in Anderson Silva? Squeeze it out. What juice is left in Conor McGregor? Squeeze. What juice was left in Mike Tyson? Squeeze it out. It's good for your brand. You could argue it's bad for the actual brand of boxing.
Mm-hmm. You can't argue that. Go ahead, Antt.
No, I think it actually, this whole event didn't go as planned for the Paul brothers. He went to get that rub, as Sean said. And I think, I had everybody hitting me up just as you guys. Oh, man, what do you think about this? I said, it's an old man versus a young kid. That's all it is. That Mike Tyson, do you remember Mike Tyson getting his ass whooped? I told everybody that. All y'all think about is Mike Tyson before he went to prison, right when he got out. After that, he started getting his ass whooped. Like, nobody, I told, like, Shawn Porter retired at 35. Floyd Mayweather retired at 38. That's because they ain't got it no more. You think a 50, 60-year-old man still got it? So, but I think it was like, literally, I'll start getting calls as the fight started. Oh, man, why is he doing this to this old man? Oh, man, I hate this dude. It's like, it was the allure that Tyson was going to be Tyson, but Tyson really ain't got it anymore. He's an old man, legs. I remember sparring Sean for 2 rounds. It was the hardest shit in the world in the second round to come back out. And if that's 20 years older than I am now, it's going to even be harder. So it's just like Tyson didn't have it anymore, man. He tried. So I don't think the rub happened the way he thought it was, because it was more people feeling bad. I had people hated Coach Wade, the other dude that used to be with Floyd. They're like, what the fuck is Coach Wade doing? It got to a race thing where, how is he having a white man beat a black man like that? At the end of the day, it's all about getting paid. I mean, you got to feed his family. So I just don't think the rub went as planned. It more went to a sympathy thing for Mike Tyson, because that was everybody passed through.
Yeah, I'm gonna post this after I read it on here, and I'm gonna make sure that I put the caption so that it sends people to the PorterWay Podcast so we could talk about this. But this was what I put. I text this to some friends November 4th, 8:16 p.m. They asked what the fight was going to be like. I got a feeling the script is going to be to make Tyson look like the big bad wolf, like he used to be. A lot of swinging and missing from him. He slows down. Jake lands some clean shots, dances a little, and showboats. Everyone goes home paid. The part of that I think I got wrong, the big bad wolf part, was the stepping on the toe when he gets after the weigh-in, and then Mike slaps him. That's the big bad wolf. The first round, Mike comes out and like leads with a hook or something like that. He's got this spry energy when he gets going, and it looked like he was going to be that once upon a time Mike. He slowed down, a lot of swinging and missing, gun shy, as we would expect a 56-year-old man to be. The part that I got wrong, though, Jake Paul doesn't have much substance. For a social media guy, for a guy who's been on Disney Channel and does posts and all these other sorts of things, I was scratching my head like, this, you couldn't come up with nothing to entertain us? There's nothing you could come up with. There was no grabbing Mike and shoving Mike back and making
ear bite, something.
Nothing. There was nothing. Y'all couldn't come up with nothing. So we got the big bad wolf, but after that, we just get an ordinary 56-year-old man in the ring with an amateur boxer who's boxing professionally. Don't mean to make it sound so disrespectful, but truth is truth. I'm glad that it's over because I had people asking me who you got tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, I laughed. I didn't respond to anybody. What you mean who you got tonight? It's gonna be what it's gonna be. The script is certainly not for Jake Paul to lose this. And if we know what we know about Mike Tyson, if he didn't have it at 40 years old, 45 years old, he sure as heck doesn't have it now. Love the man, respect the man. Go ahead and be that classic car. Show up at these events and continue to be that figure of greatness that you've been. And that's the one thing that I'm grateful for. I really don't think this fight put Mike like in the dirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it took anything off from him.
Mike he held on to his integrity and who he is as a person through all this. Made him some money. Probably picked up a couple more fans. I'm sure he had more than Jake before this. He probably have a few more than Jake now. And I'm glad that it's over.
I mean, no, Mike's stock doesn't go down because the public has proven no matter what, they're going to love him. But he did sell his reputation and his record for a check. And I will be the bad guy and point that out. You know what I mean? And he hasn't been above doing this kind of thing for 27 years. Like I said before, and like Antt talk about their old hero, their old false idol wars. That's what the whole point of this really was to me, is on the Tyson side, this false idol worship. There's no logic to support you thought at 58 he was going to be able to do what he did at 28 when he wasn't able to do that at 38. All it is if you think the man is more than a man, if you think he's some kind of god, and that's part of the mystique that they sold. But and then for the fight itself, Sean, I didn't feel like, Jake afterwards said he carried Tyson, and by letting everybody know you carried him, you just defeated the purpose of supposedly carrying him. If someone asks you that and the reason you carried him was out of respect, then you're supposed to go, hey, the fight was what it was. We were in there, give some generic answer and keep it pushing. But I'm not even convinced that he did carry Mike Tyson, because the only chance he could give Tyson was getting greedy, was trying to get him out of there, was giving up his height and playing it safe on the outside and trying to step into something. And I, even in the 8th round, he thought about it, and there was the hook was there for Tyson, and Tyson missed it. But I think he probably did let his foot off the gas a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was just as much as, let me not give this 58-year-old Mike Tyson his only hope in this fight. And that's by giving up my height, giving up my range, and trying to get greedy. And so I believe that had just as much to do with it as doing the old man a favor, that you defeated the purpose of said favor by letting everybody know that's what you did. so yeah. But and then go ahead, Antt. Go ahead, Antt.
No, I mean, Jake Paul's a shitty fighter. It is what it is. He's not a world-class fighter, not by any means, not close. He's D level at best. I mean,
he's good for what he does. And And I hate that people don't understand what he's doing and keep trying to bring it into, listen, 8 2-minute rounds with 14-ounce gloves. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
I did an interview and I said, Mike is the classic car that you can't really drive over 100 miles an hour anymore. That thing's supposed to stay in the garage and look beautiful. When you take it out, you're going to do 35 down the street with it so everybody can see it, but you're not going to try to push it to the limit because it can't do it no more. I said, on the other end, we'll call Jake a Lamborghini. In this fight, you depreciated your value by making it 2-minute rounds. You depreciated your value by making it 14-ounce gloves. Keep giving the world that the people that watch you, keep giving them what they want. But don't call out Canelo, because Canelo ain't coming over here with the BS. Probably won't get a fight with Canelo because he's not for the BS. So again, what people don't understand, you're gonna keep saying Canelo's name and some other fighters' names, and people are just gonna keep clicking to see everything that's being said, and that's how he's making his money. Y'all ain't smart enough to realize that he can't contend with the Canelo Alvarez, so he's not even gonna try to. I guarantee y'all this: if he really try to make a fight with Canelo, he gonna outprice himself. Once he outprice himself and Canelo say let's do it, he gonna start trying to make all these other negotiations and things like that, and the fight will never be made. That is that's a actual. He don't need that, and the boxing world don't need that. And let's just keep it separate. And
Yeah.
people need to just understand.
Go ahead, Zittel.
Well, just to jump off what Sean's saying there about Canelo, what do you guys think about Andre Ward entertaining the fight? Do you think Jake would?
Did Dre say something about fighting?
Damian Lillard after the fight tweeted he wanted to see Jake Paul versus Andre Ward, and Andre tweeted out, "Let's talk about it."
Oh, man. Okay, Dre, you for it then, huh? All right, Dre. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I won't say what I know, but I'm not surprised. Dre is a smart business.
I mean, I can see him pulling Shawn Porter.
And it's
a retirement in 2025.
No, it's not. That's not gonna happen. I already answered that. Like, I know I've been getting funky on here lately, and I got funky on here a little bit today. I retired Amanda right in front of her, and talked about Arnold, Barboza and all that kind of stuff. This ain't what I do no more. I like being here. And I'm not bold because I'm not getting in the ring anymore. I'm bold because I'm trying to do the best I can to change the state of boxing. And I feel like I do have that voice that a lot of people respect and trust. And with that being said, if I continue to not speak the whole truth, then people are going to go find that truth somewhere else, and they won't be getting it from me. Then I'm depreciating my value, So I'm not getting in the ring with Jake Paul. There's nothing he could do about it. You can't get me in the ring with Jake Paul. My purpose is much bigger than boxing now in the ring. And I'll leave it at that.
Shawn Porter signs Zittel. Who is the next guy he gets in the ring? It's going to be somebody fall for the fish.
It ain't going to be Andre Ward.
Yeah. I don't think.
I'm like, he's too smart for. Okay, thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
They don't play.
That's okay. So, I mean, people was like, well, you seen the Tank post. Tank is 5'4". I don't really want to see that. That's little is little, man.
I'm sorry, Tank could get him too.
5'4"? I don't think nobody 5'4" can beat me up.
You will be surprised, bro. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
All right.
We all we spar so much heavier than we fight. And I know sparring is different from a fight. But listen, there's things that Tank would have against this guy that you just can't defeat. Even though he's got that size disadvantage, Tank knows how to close the distance. When you got somebody closing the distance on you and you ain't got nobody in the camp that's been doing that to you, you in no man's land. I'm sorry. And I don't mean to put Tank up in there like going to do that, but yeah. Most guys at the top of this sport in any weight class could get it done. And I'll leave it at that. Let's just keep it separate, y'all. Just keep it separate.
Man, I could unpack this larger Jake Paul discussion for a minute. Just want to, there's a lot. To go from.
Hey, that little laugh, Sean.
Yeah.
Hey,
here, let's end it. Let's end it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What we got coming up? Anything?
We got the
still undefeated.
Hold on. We got the official announcement of Dave Benavidez, Dave Morrell.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
man.
February the third.
First.
What'd that say? What'd that say? I can't see what that say. Okay.
David Benavidez is Jake Paul's favorite fighter, by the way, so he has good taste there.
Oh,
and Jake Paul, to say something nice about him, he's in the right division. He's got to drop 27 pounds now to get back to his division because he did look like a blown-up cruiserweight because he is a cruiserweight. He's in the right division. The cruiserweight division, historically one of the thinnest divisions in boxing. You got the WBA president keeps talking about how bad he wants to put a title on him versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who's not even ranked like that. But
keep it separate.
It's a chance one day for sure that one day I got to come on this podcast and talk about Jake Paul fighting for a world title or even winning a world title. these sanctioning bodies would do anything to get 3% of the money he's bringing in. So that's a possibility. But again, like that Serrano Taylor stuff is his shield. It makes it hard to criticize him. It's a good PR move but then at the same time you look at, he called Clarissa Shields a loser after the first MMA loss she had. That's the greatest female fighter of all time. And so that boxing respect goes quickly out the window when you don't go with his agenda. We don't play ball. And just like he told Shushu, I make more money taking a shit than you'd have in your whole life. That's not respecting boxing. Like, again,
Shushu that?
Yeah, if you don't play ball with him, that's when he shows you what he's really about. But yeah, what do we got coming up?
Sean, yeah, he said that. Shawn Porter is still shocked, Sean Zittel. He's still looking like, do you understand the trajectory of Shushu? Okay. All right. But that's why I hate this. Like, there's like serious people that took boxing serious. And I mean, shout out to our guy. We know he's over there. But it's like,
and shout out to Jake, because he does take it serious. This dude is in camp for like 3 months. I get. You're doing it.
You're doing it much. I could never come. Hey, all respect, but I can never disrespect you and Zittel. Y'all know 20 times more about the sport than me. Y'all done way more than the sport than me. That's crazy. Even if I came here making $100 million more than y'all, money don't change nothing. You still are who you are, with the money or without the money.
So here, we'll use this as the example, as the analogy, and then we'll close it. If you came into this with making the kind of money that you was making wherever you was making, and you brought that over here, and the podcast started making that, and you say, yo, we're going to have to do this, we're going to have to do that. If I want to make the money, I'm going to have to say, all right, Antt, go ahead and, revamp this thing and do it the way you want it done. I know more than you. I know I'm more experienced than you in the fight game, but you know how to make money, and it's like, that's what boxing has basically done. Moved aside to let him do what he's doing. I don't hate it at all. I really don't. I just wish boxing would take advantage of what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, in the terms of talking down to people.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that. When you say I've shit more than you ever made, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You understand? You don't understand who the fuck this kid is.
Yeah.
You don't understand the trajectory.
That's the real Jake Paul. He only respects money and credibility and clout. That's the mindset.
I really want to get off this, but I gotta ask: was that a tweet or was that like face to face?
Face to face.
Really?
During the press conference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand.
No, we gotta get off it. We got.
Yeah. I wonder if one day this could be looked at. I just wonder if one day this could be looked at as a bottoming out moment. 2024 was the bottoming out moment of American boxing. If you wanted to make some money, unless you were a huge name like Tank or Canelo, the Ryan Devin fight, you had to go to Saudi Arabia. And the face of boxing was a guy 4 years into his career who came from YouTube. Maybe this was the bottoming out moment, 2020, or we got more bottoming out ahead of us before things get better. But that's all.
We'll see.
Zittel trying to figure it out. So.
We'll come back to Morel and Benavidez next week. How about that?
Okay. All right.
I got a scripture for y'all. Motivational message before we get out of here. I have a scripture for y'all. Hopefully you guys out there are familiar with the Bible, the Holy Bible. I just received this recently and I want to give it to you guys. And I was talking to someone else about this as well. So I'll tie it all in, right? My favorite scripture in the Bible, James chapter 1, verse 2, 3. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. Now, this is what I want to say about this scripture. I know that most people, when they read that and it says, count it joy when you face trials. And it's like, how am I supposed to be happy during a trial? I can't pay my bills and you want me to walk around with a smile on my face. That's not what the scripture is saying. What the scripture is saying, count it all joy. Be whoever God made you to be in the midst of your trials. Just because you're going through a trial doesn't mean you need to lose your head. Doesn't mean you have to all of a sudden lose the patience that God blessed you with, the understanding that God blessed you with, the knowledge, the wisdom that you use daily. All that don't go away just because of a trial. That's what God means when he says count it joy. Count it being yourself. Be who I made you to be when you face this trial, knowing that it's a testing of your patience, and that patience is going to produce perseverance. That's what I want to say. And the other thing that I want to say is when we're going through trials, the trials don't change us. God doesn't change us. We change us. When you're going through a trial, remain yourself. Don't change. Don't become this big bad wolf because things have gotten hard. Don't become this person that won't come out of your bedroom because you're depressed because things have gotten hard. Remain who you are. You'll find your way through it. This is the PorterWay.